Hey everyone, and welcome back. We are ready to deep dive into all things Libra.
I'm excited. Yeah.
Libra, the Zodiac's peacemakers with a killer aesthetic. We've got so much to cover today.
Yes.
Like, what makes them tick, who they click with best, and what's on the horizon for them in March 2025.
I love it.
Our sources are looking really good. They're tailored for a younger audience, so expect some fun language.
Okay.
Are you ready to unlock these secrets of Libra's love and hustle?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we should start by unpacking those classic Libra characteristics. Like their love for balance, harmony, and just beautiful things.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
Our sources are saying that they're the Zodiac's peacemakers and that they just love balance, harmony, all things beautiful.
Right.
But what's the real deal behind this desire for harmony?
Well, Venus is their ruling planet, and Venus is all about love, beauty, and pleasure.
Okay.
So that directly influences Libra's love for aesthetics and creating a pleasing atmosphere.
So they're the ones who just know how to set the mood.
Yes, exactly.
They're like the interior designers of the Zodiac.
Right. They just make sure that things look good and feel good.
Yes, and speaking of feeling good, our sources did mention that Libras sometimes struggle with indecision. Why is that?
It's fascinating. It's not just about being picky.
Okay.
It really stems from their deep desire for fairness and their ability to see all sides of every situation.
Oh, wow.
So they want everyone to be happy. And making a choice that might disappoint someone can be a real internal battle for them.
It's like they're constantly weighing the scales,
Exactly.
trying to find that point of equilibrium.
Yes.
Our sources also mention people-pleasing tendencies,
Right.
which I guess goes hand in hand with that desire for harmony.
Yes. And, it can be a double-edged sword.
Uh-huh.
Their desire to please makes them incredible friends and partners.
True.
But it can also lead to them overextending themselves or silencing their own needs to avoid conflict.
Right.
So it's really important for them to learn to set boundaries and to prioritize their own well-being.
So it's about finding that balance between keeping the peace and staying true to themselves.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about those signs that just click with Libra.
Right?
Astrological compatibility.
Mm-hmm.
Always so interesting.
Yes, and the sources highlight some really interesting pairings.
Okay.
It's not just about sun signs, of course, but these combinations definitely have the potential for some serious cosmic chemistry.
Okay, so first up, Gemini. It says here, they're air sign besties who both love to communicate and socialize. What makes this such a dynamic duo?
Well, think about it. Gemini's quick wit paired with Libra's natural charm.
Oh, yeah.
It's a recipe for endless banter, viral collaborations, or just a really fun night out.
I love it.
They both thrive in social settings. They love to engage in stimulating conversation.
Yeah.
They just feed off each other's energy in the best way possible.
Like that friend group that's always cracking jokes and sharing the latest gossip.
Exactly.
Next we have Aquarius, another air sign match. It says they're all about exciting collaborations and appreciating the unconventional.
All right.
What's the magic behind this pairing?
What's interesting here is how their strengths complement each other.
Okay.
Aquarius brings that independent, quirky energy, always pushing boundaries and thinking outside the box.
Right.
Libra, with their diplomatic approach, helps Aquarius channel those innovative ideas in a way that's harmonious and accessible to others.
So it's like Aquarius brings the big ideas and Libra helps refine them and make them a reality.
Exactly.
Now this next one is interesting.
Right.
Leo says they bring out the best in each other, but they seem like total opposites. How does that work?
Right, it's that classic fire meets air dynamic, and it can be incredibly exciting.
Yeah.
Leo's boldness and confidence can help Libra step out of their comfort zone and embrace their own inner fire. Libra, in turn, can help Leo channel their passionate energy in a more balanced and harmonious way.
Okay.
Think of them as a power couple slaying the red carpet or just constantly hyping each other up.
Ooh. I love that they definitely bring a different flavor to the table.
They do.
Now, last but not least, we've got Sagittarius described as perfect travel buddies who crave freedom and exploration.
Yes.
Why is that?
This one is all about shared values.
Okay.
Both Libra and Sagittarius value their independence, and they have a thirst for new experiences.
I see.
Whether it's jet-setting across the globe or just exploring new ideas and philosophies, they're always down for an adventure.
They sound like the ultimate free spirits, always on the go, open to anything.
Yes.
The sources also mentioned Cancer and Capricorn as potential challenges for Libra. Can you shed some light on those dynamics?
Well, Cancer's emotional depth and need for security can sometimes clash with Libra's more airy and detached approach.
Okay.
And Capricorn, with their focus on structure and discipline, might find Libra's indecisiveness and tendency to procrastinate a bit frustrating.
So it's not necessarily about incompatibility, but rather about different approaches to life that might require some extra effort to navigate.
Exactly. And even seemingly challenging pairings can offer valuable learning experiences.
Okay.
They push Libra to confront their own shadow sides and grow in ways they might not have anticipated.
Okay, so we've got a pretty good understanding of those Libra vibes and who they mesh well with. Are you ready to dive into their March 2025 forecast?
I am.
Because I'm hearing whispers of love and hustle with a dash of cosmic chaos.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I'm particularly intrigued by how Venus retrograde will play out for them.
Okay.
Remember, Venus is Libra's ruling planet, so when it goes retrograde, it can really shake things up in their world.
Venus retrograde, we need to break that down a bit.
Okay.
What exactly does that mean, and why should Libras care?
So in astrology, when a planet appears to move backwards in the sky, it's called retrograde motion.
Okay.
It's an optical illusion, of course.
Right.
But astrologically, it's believed to signify a period of introspection, reevaluation, and revisiting the past.
Right.
For Libra, ruled by Venus, this can bring up themes related to love, relationships, values, and even their sense of self-worth.
Interesting. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, but more like a time to pause, reflect, and maybe rethink some things.
Exactly. It's a chance to gain clarity on what truly matters and make adjustments accordingly.
I like that.
And the sources indicate that this particular Venus retrograde is happening in Aries, which adds another layer of complexity.
Ooh, Aries energy.
I'm already feeling a shift.
Yes.
What's the significance of that for Libra?
Well, in astrology, Aries rules the 7th house,
Okay.
which is traditionally associated with partnerships, relationships, and even open enemies.
Oh.
So with Venus retrograde happening in this area of Libra's chart, it's likely to bring up some intense themes related to their connections with others.
Okay, this is getting juicy.
Yes.
We're talking relationship reevaluations, maybe some exes popping up,
Potentially.
some drama with friends or family members.
Yes, but remember,
It's not about fearing these challenges, but rather about seeing them as opportunities for growth and understanding.
okay, so March is shaping up to be a pretty eventful month for Libra.
It is.
Let's break down those weekly forecasts and see what we're working with.
Okay.
Where do we start?
Well, the sources break it down into 3 distinct periods.
Okay.
We've got early March, from the 1st to the 10th, mid-March, from the 11th to the 20th,
Okay.
and then late March, from the 21st to the 31st.
Okay.
Each week has its own unique astrological flavor.
Sounds like we've got a cosmic roadmap to navigate those Libra vibes.
We do.
Let's start with early March, shall we?
Okay.
What's in store for our Libra friends during that first week and a half of the month?
Well, buckle up because things kick off with a bang.
Yeah.
We've got Venus retrograde starting right on March 1st in Aries. So those relationship themes we discussed are going to be front and center. Early March definitely has that expect the unexpected vibe when it comes to relationships. The sources even use playful language like flirty throwbacks and we need to talk vibes, which I think perfectly captures the energy.
Okay, so picture this. You're a Libra, just scrolling through your social media, and suddenly, bam, an old flame pops up in your DMs. Or maybe you bump into an ex at your favorite coffee shop. It's like Venus retrograde is playing cosmic matchmaker, dredging up the past to see if there are any unresolved sparks.
Exactly. And while it might be tempting to dive headfirst into those nostalgic feelings, remember that Venus retrograde is all about reflection. This isn't necessarily about rekindling old romances, but rather about gaining closure, understanding past patterns, and maybe even forgiving yourself or others for past hurts.
So it's more about using those unexpected encounters as a chance to learn and grow, rather than jumping back into something that might not be right for you anymore.
Precisely.
Now, while Venus retrograde might be stirring the pot in Libra's relationship zone, the sources also mention some positive influences happening simultaneously. Mars is in Cancer during this time, which is actually really beneficial for Libra's goals and ambitions.
Wait, so we've got love, drama, A&D, a boost of motivation happening at the same time? That's a lot to process.
It is, but it's actually a really interesting combination. Think of it this way. Mars is all about action and drive, and Cancer is a very nurturing, home-oriented sign. For Libra, this could manifest as a newfound determination to create a more harmonious and supportive environment for themselves, whether that's at home work or in their personal relationships.
Okay, so maybe they're channeling that Venus retrograde energy into redecorating their apartment, finally launching that side hustle they've been dreaming of, or setting some healthy boundaries with those energy-draining friends. Exactly. And with Mercury also in Pisces during this first part of March, there's a sense of ease and flow to their communication. The sources suggest that this is a great time for Libras to tap into their intuition, connect with their creative side, and maybe even have some deep, meaningful conversations with those they trust.
So even with Venus retrograde throwing some curveballs, early March has the potential to be a really productive and insightful time for Libras if they use that energy wisely. Now, what about mid-March? The source mentions a shift in focus towards work and wellness.
Yes, from March 11th to the 20th, the Sun moves into Pisces, which illuminates Libra's sixth house of work, health, and daily routines. This is where things get interesting. Pisces energy is all about dreams, intuition, and connecting with something larger than yourself. For Libra, this could mean feeling drawn to spiritual practices, exploring their creativity, or finding ways to bring more meaning and purpose to their daily lives.
So we're talking less about slaying those to-do lists and more about finding a sense of flow and alignment in their daily routines.
Exactly. And with Mercury also in Pisces, during this time, their communication skills are supercharged, especially when it comes to expressing their feelings and connecting with others on a deeper level. The sources even mention that teaming up with a Gemini or Aquarius during this time could lead to some major creative breakthroughs or successful collaborations.
Okay, so air sign synergy for the win. But wait a minute. Didn't you say Venus retrograde is still in play?
It is. And this is where things could get a little tricky for our Libra friends. Remember that whole people-pleasing tendency we talked about? Well, with Venus retrograde still activating their relationship zone, they might find themselves overextending themselves to please others, especially at work or in their personal lives.
So it's like that classic scenario where a friend asks for a small favor that turns into a huge commitment, and Libra ends up saying yes because they don't want to disappoint anyone.
Exactly. And this is where boundaries become crucial. Mid-March is a time for Libras to really prioritize self-care and make sure they're not sacrificing their own needs to keep everyone else happy. It's about finding that balance between being helpful and supportive without becoming a doormat.
So maybe it's about saying no to that extra project at work, taking a break from social media to recharge, or having that honest conversation with a friend who's been taking advantage of their generosity.
Absolutely. And remember, setting boundaries isn't selfish. It's an act of self-love.
Yeah.
It allows Libra to show up as their most authentic and radiant selves, which ultimately benefits everyone around them.
Okay, so mid-March is all about finding that sweet spot between pursuing your passions, nurturing your well-being, and setting healthy boundaries. What about late March? The source mentions a big shift happening on the 20th.
Yes. On March 20th, the Sun moves into Aries, which marks the beginning of a new astrological year and kicks off Aries season. This is a significant shift for everyone, but especially for Libra, as the Sun is now moving into their seventh house of relationships, which has already been activated by Venus retrograde.
So basically, we're turning up the heat on those relationship themes even more.
Exactly. And this is where things could get really interesting. Aries energy is all about action, initiative, and asserting yourself. It's bold, direct, and not afraid to go after what it wants.
So for Libra, this could manifest as a sudden urge to take charge in their relationships, set some clear boundaries, or finally have those tough conversations they've been avoiding.
Absolutely. And with Venus retrograde still in the mix, those conversations might be a little more intense or emotionally charged than usual.
Okay, buckle up, Libra. It's about to get real. But the source also mentions a new moon in Aries happening on March 29th. What's the significance of that?
New moons are always a time for new beginnings and setting intentions. With this one happening in Aries and Libra's seventh house, it's a powerful opportunity for them to plant the seeds for the kinds of relationships they truly desire.
So it's like a cosmic reset button, allowing them to release old patterns, set clear intentions, and manifest more fulfilling and authentic connections.
Exactly. This new moon is a chance for Libra to step into their power and create relationships that are truly aligned with their values and needs.
Love that. But with Venus retrograde still hanging around, it sounds like they need to be mindful of mixed signals or lingering confusion.
Yes, it's important to remember that Venus retrograde is still in effect until mid-April. So there might be some lingering uncertainty or unexpected twists and turns in their relationships.
So basically, late March is about riding those waves of change, embracing those bold Aries vibes, and using that new moon energy to set some powerful intentions for their future relationship.
Exactly. And while it might be a bit of a bumpy ride, remember that Libras are known for their resilience and adaptability. They have the strength and grace to navigate these cosmic shifts and emerge even stronger on the other side.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. Early March is all about those unexpected relationship encounters, and finding that balance between hustle and harmony mid-March brings a focus on self-care and setting boundaries while pursuing their passions. And late March is all about embracing those bold Aries vibes, navigating those relationship challenges, and using that new moon energy to set intentions for the future.
You got it. And while March might feel like a bit of a cosmic obstacle course for Libra, it's important to remember that challenges are opportunities in disguise. They're being given a chance to really examine their relationships, learn some valuable lessons about boundaries and self-love, and ultimately create a more authentic and fulfilling life.
Well said. Now, I'm curious what happens after this harmony check is complete. What's next for Libra once they've navigated these cosmic waters? Okay, so we've left our Libras with a little bit of a cliffhanger here.
We did.
You know what happens after this harmony check is complete?
Right.
What's next for them once they've kind of navigated all of these, cosmic waters of March?
That's a great question. And what's exciting is that the seeds that are planted during March, especially around that new moon in Aries,
Right.
will really start to blossom in April.
Okay.
Remember that new moon was all about setting intentions for, stronger, more authentic relationships.
Uh-huh.
And with Venus finally direct again in mid-April,
Okay.
Libra will have a renewed sense of clarity and purpose in their connections.
So it's like March was the storm, and April is the chance to kind of rebuild and create something even more beautiful.
Exactly like a cosmic spring cleaning for their relationships.
Yes. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, speaking of nourishment, our sources did mention that Libras are ruled by Venus,
Right.
the planet of pleasure and beauty. How do you think that might influence their journey, beyond March?
Well, if Venus is all about enjoying the finer things in life,
Right.
I imagine April could be a time for Libras to indulge in some serious self-care.
Ooh, I like where this is going.
Think spa days, art galleries,
Yeah.
maybe even a little retail therapy. Anything that sparks their creativity and brings a sense of harmony to their lives.
So they can just kind of surround themselves with beauty and balance.
Exactly. And it's not just about superficial pampering, though.
Okay.
This Venusian influence could also inspire them to reconnect with their passions,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's painting, music, fashion, anything that brings them joy.
So it's about indulging their senses and reigniting that creative spark.
Yes.
Now, I do want to touch on something that we talked about earlier in the episode.
Yep.
The source focuses on March 2025,
Right?
but I'm wondering, are there any kind of broader themes or lessons that Libras can carry with them throughout the rest of the year?
I think the key takeaway for Libras in 2025 is to embrace their own strength and autonomy.
Okay.
Yes, they're all about harmony and balance,
Uh-huh.
but they also possess a powerful inner warrior, especially when it comes to standing up for what they believe in and creating the kinds of relationships that they deserve.
So it's about finding that balance between being a peacemaker and a powerhouse. Now, that's a dynamic duo.
It is, and remember, Libras are incredibly resourceful and resilient.
Right.
They have the ability to adapt to any situation and emerge even stronger and more radiant.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that they don't always have to please everyone or smooth over every conflict.
Okay.
Sometimes the most harmonious path is the one that honors their own truth and their own values.
That's such a beautiful reminder.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to leave our Libras with a little something to ponder.
Okay.
We talked about their compatible signs,
Right.
but what about those signs that kind of challenge them,
Mm-hmm.
like Cancer and Capricorn?
Right.
Can those relationships ever really work?
That's a great question, and the answer is absolutely.
Okay.
Even though those signs might initially create some friction, they offer valuable opportunities for growth.
Okay.
Remember, Cancer is all about emotional depth and nurturing,
Right.
and Capricorn is focused on structure and ambition, and these energies might seem at odds with Libra's airy and diplomatic approach, but they can actually complement each other beautifully.
So it's like those seemingly incompatible signs can actually help Libras become more well-rounded and balanced individuals.
Exactly. It's all about embracing the diversity of human experience and recognizing that every interaction, even the challenging ones,
Right.
have something to teach us.
I see.
Think of it like this.
Yeah.
Cancer can teach Libra about the importance of vulnerability and emotional connection,
Okay.
while Capricorn can inspire them to set clear goals and pursue their ambitions with unwavering focus.
Right.
These are all qualities that can help Libra really step into their full potential.
That's beautiful. So to all the Libras out there, embrace your charm, your grace, your strength.
Yeah.
And remember, you have the power to create a life filled with beauty balance and authentic connections.
And never underestimate the power of a little cosmic guidance to help you along the way.
That's a wrap on our deep dive into the world of Libra. We hope you enjoyed this journey into the heart of Libra and learned a thing or two about this fascinating sign.
Yes. Thank you for joining us.
Until next time, stay curious, stay balanced, and keep shining bright.